Well, it had to happen eventually, didn't it? Prince Harry and Meghan Markle taking time apart to reevaluate where they went wrong. I've asked many psychologists, and they tell me that marriages that last are because they share common values. And that's when they have shared values. Values is a positive thing. But Harry and Meghan, what they share are character flaws. They're both narcissistic, arrogant, entitled, liars. So that is not the same thing, because value is a positive thing, character flaw is not. And hence we have the separation announcement or from Radar Online, which I'm pretty sure will be coming out to you soon. I'm going to read you from Radar Online. Harry and Meghan trial, separation, nasty fights, humiliation and failure lead Prince to pursue peace inside the drama. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are taking time apart in hopes of rebuilding their bond after the pair's marital woes were fueled by family drama, Radar Online can report. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have been worn down after public backlash, failed business deals, and public spats with the loved ones, palace insiders revealed. Okay. Spats with family members. A spat is something completely different than going on a worldwide platform, trashing and slandering and defaming your dying grandmother, your dying grandfather, your brother, and his wife, who had been nothing but supportive of Harry and Meghan.
Family has been great, and over the past year and a half, we've just had really nice time getting to know them and progressively helping me feel a part of not just the institution, but also part of the family, which has been really really special.
And Catherine's been absolutely
wonderful,
amazing, as is William as well. Fantastic support.
Yes, that's Harry saying, and Meghan, that Catherine, William, and even his father had been nothing but wonderful towards Harry and Meghan Markle. So it's actually quite offensive that they're calling family spats. How about Meghan Markle saying and setting the dogs on Samantha Markle, her disabled sister? Meghan Markle used her newly acquired access to a worldwide platform to trash, lie, slander, cause hatred towards her father and her disabled sister. Her father, by the way, Mr. Markle, I think is turning 79 today. Happy birthday, Mr. Markle. So we get to see what Harry and Meghan, especially Meghan, used that platform for, and it's to create hatred. Basically to get even with people she thought had wronged her in her own sick mind. So no, family spats does not apply to this world. Now, why are they separating? It has nothing to do with financial woes. It has nothing to do with anything else. It has to do with the fact that both are disgusting. Meghan Markle had an agenda from the beginning. Harry became dispensable from the moment he signed that marriage certificate. He was no longer relevant. She had attained her goal. She married into the royal family. Her next goal was try to secure children for that and keep them in the line of succession and get as many titles as possible, which she has done successfully. So now Harry wants to seek peace. How can he seek peace when he hasn't apologized for the war he's created among his loved ones? You know, in a marriage, most therapists will tell you that even if you're from different cultures, different backgrounds, if you share the same values, you will stay together. You know how some people say, oh, well, he's too old, she's too young, she's white, he's black. Most couples, if you share the same values, you will be together. If you share family love, but when you, and Harry and Meghan, but of course the values have to be positive. Well, no, not really, negative too, you know. But but Harry and Meghan, and you know, I want to take this time to make an observation, because somebody said, well, why do you blame Meghan more than Harry? Okay, from my point of view, this is why we can, because with Harry, we have a way to measure his past behavior. In spite of the fact that Buckingham Palace was covering everything up for him, he did seem to have a genuine bond with his brother. There was an easygoing relationship with Catherine. You could see that he was happy in the environment he was in. He actually looked happy. He smiled. He wasn't that miserable or anything for that matter. This newly fueled hatred of the press is being fueled. This is a rumor that's being fueled mostly for the press to kind of justify Harry's behavior. Okay, so we have some way to measure and comparison. We have a point of comparison when Harry was without Meghan before he met her, how his life was, how positive his goals were, you know, the connections he had, how welcome he was worldwide, where he wanted to be, what he said he wanted to be, or what he wanted to do. So we have a point of comparison with Meghan, because she was such a nobody. The only point of comparison we have to make is that as soon as she became or started hanging out with people of the royal family, or she thought she was going to be with Harry for good, she cut off her father, her family. She slandered everybody. So the point of comparison we have for me with Meghan Markle is the fact that as soon as she became famous, she trashed her own family. She discarded her own family. I had the point of comparison with Trevor Engelson, that as soon as she sort of became in a B-list role secured, she trashed him. A man that had been loyally by her side for 11 years, because, you know, they were married for, I think, 2, but he was with her for like 9. So yes, that's my point of comparison for Meghan Markle. So this is why she's blamed the most, especially when you take into consideration that Harry's not the brightest star of it all. And Meghan, even though she's stupid, she is less stupid than Harry, and she's more cunning than he was, because he took her at her word.
How much did you, Prince Harry, know about Meghan? Had you seen her on TV?
No, I'd never even heard about her until this friend said Meghan Markle. I was like, right, okay, give me a bit of background. what's going on here? So no, I'd never watched Suits. I'd never heard of Meghan before.
Given that I didn't know a lot about him.
It's hugely refreshing to be able to get to know someone who isn't necessarily within your circle, doesn't know much about me. I don't know much about her.
You know, here when he says that it was so refreshing not to have somebody from his environment, to get to know her so quickly and stuff like that, he should have taken his time. And clearly, you know, there's a reason why Meghan Markle didn't hang around his environment prior to that. You know, all it took was one person for Meghan Markle, because once you get, like, you know, somebody backs you up from the environment, somebody from his environment brought her in, he trusted that she was okay to hang around with her. But he should have done his homework. He genuinely thought that she was going to do good, that they were going to work together, that she was going to be part of the team, that she didn't know anything about him. I mean, if this man believed that this woman didn't know anything about him, that tells you a lot about his mental status, or, you know, the lack of intelligence. Clearly the lack of intelligence for Harry, because after Buckingham Palace has stopped making the choices for him, you can see his downfall, especially when you have somebody like Meghan Markle making the choices for him. Okay, now what's happening is that Harry had values, family values, prior to meeting Meghan Markle. He seemed very happy, very content. You know, he was finding his footing with the Invictus Games. So when people say, oh, why do you blame Meghan more? Because there is a point of comparison prior to Meghan with Harry, and the point of comparison for us, at least for me, regarding Meghan, is how she trashed her own father, the father that she could not praise more before. So yes, that's why, if you think, and the fact that he's less smart. So now they're taking time apart to evaluate, to make their bond stronger. That's absolutely insane. Meghan Markle is discarding him because he is no longer valuable to her. And we're going to start seeing the trashing of Harry. If he thinks he's going to get out of this scot-free, he has another one coming, because if Meghan was able to do that to her father, her sister, her entire black side of the family, and his family, what's coming for him is not going to be pretty.
Have you met the Queen?
I have, yes.
A couple of times.
Yeah,
What was
it's
that
true, a
like?
couple of times. It's incredible. I curtsied as though I was like, pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty. Like, was that okay?
We have all seen this clip go around the world when Meghan Markle said it was fantastic to meet the Queen, and then she does that mockery, that shameful, there's a word in Spanish for it, vulgareando a la reina. She was ridiculing the Queen, the respect. And this is a woman who supposedly has a major of international relations, and she would know that the Queen was a symbol. And it's like, do you think she'd be mocking an Hindu or the Emperor of Japan? Maybe she would, because she's that much of a disrespectful moron. So we've seen that, and Harry sat there next to her, looking disgusted. He couldn't quite smile like happy or think it's funny, because deep down I think he knew that that wasn't funny, but he still went along with it, because at that point in time, Harry's ship was anchored deeply to Meghan Markle, and he's banking that they can still make this work, because he has been so vile. I mean, his actions are not excusable. So when people say, why does a marriage last? Because I have been asking a lot of psychologists about it, and say when they have shared values, when they make each other grow, when they have, Meghan Markle's, what are Harry and Meghan Markle's shared values? That they trash people, that they slander people?
Your family, that this was different because of race. Mm-hmm. Do you think there ever will be? And would that make a difference to you?
There's a lot of people that have seen it for what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people. Like, it's talked about across the world. Yet the very people that don't want to see it or can't see it choose not to see it.
You accuse members of your family of racism. You don't even...
No, we didn't. The British press said that. Did Meghan ever mention that they're racist?
Concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
Yes. This is Meghan Markle talking about the racial tones, undertones, and if you have those conversations in tandem, which means in addition to, that makes him racist, right? And then we have Harry denying that. I mean, please keep in mind that before they did that Oprah interview, it was seriously discussed between Harry, Meghan Markle, and Oprah what the points of conversation were going to be. This is not, we just thought, no. This is something that is absolutely rehearsed. So for Meghan Markle, she did say that they were racist. Because if they have undertones and they were concerned, it's not that they were curious about the color of the skin of the baby, because that would have been, words matter. There were concerns about the color of the skin of the baby. That is racism. And those were conversations in tandem that he was not going to have a title, when that was never the case. So, and Harry, again, sat right next to her and allowed that to happen. He allowed that to happen.
Has anybody said, I'm sorry you had to make that move, or I'm sorry you felt that you had to do that because you felt we were not supporting you?
No, sadly not. The feeling is that this was our decision, therefore the consequences are on us. And despite 3 years of asking for help and seeing...
And his shock here at the fact that the royal family didn't stop him from leaving. They did. They warned him. They gave him a whole year to think it through, to just shut up, be quiet, go to the United States, be quiet, test out the way of life, and then if you don't like it, you can always come back. What did he do with that year? While his grandfather was dying, he decided to release that fucking interview. It was like, kicking a dog when it's down. But this is his loving grandfather and his dying grandmother, because the queen was dying by then. And he's complaining that, this is in regards to the racism, because Oprah is asking, about the racist thing. And he's going, they know, but they don't want to do it. They don't want to do anything about it. They don't want to change it. And the people and then he goes and does the same thing on Tom Bradby, the clip I showed you before. So Harry and Meghan do actually have a lot of shared values. And the shared values that they most have is that they're both selfish, entitled, arrogant, and narcissist. And that's a common trait. Those are common nasty traits they share, or character flaws that they share. Character flaws and shared values is something completely different. Shared values is something positive. That they share character flaws is completely opposite. And because they share those character flaws, they have the same to varying degrees. This is why we're having now this separation. And of course, they're going to blame it on the media. I wouldn't be surprised if they sue the media for this nasty thing that, that they're going through. Because it's just a matter of time. That Harry now it's the writers' strike that this is affecting Harry for making the millions since he's going to Africa. You don't need writers to go to Africa. Get on a plane and get a little camera like I do here and film it. Probably it might be very interesting. So why do you think that Harry and Meghan are separating? Who do you think is, why do we blame Meghan more? Do you agree with me? Because we had more points of comparison to how Harry was prior to meeting Meghan. And the points of comparison we have for Meghan are not very positive because we didn't know who she was before. And the things that she chose to show us in turning this man into something that he was nothing about it. I mean, he had a very close bond to his grandmother. And then he goes on national television and trashes her on Oprah and then allows that skank of a woman to ridicule. Because you see, this is what people don't get. Bowing or cursing is traditions. It's cultural traditions. So Meghan Markle was bashing British culture and one of the most respected symbols worldwide. Did I do it okay? She even took fucking courses, and I'm sorry, but I'm upset about this because when it comes to the Queen, I did love the Queen very much. As you all know, you saw me crying. She took classes in Pasadena of etiquette classes. So what do you think is going to happen with this now? Do you think that they're separating to be closer? I never heard of that before. Do you think that's why Meghan went and bought herself flowers? Like the Miley Cyrus song, I can buy myself flowers. Yeah. Because she's sending a message that she's single and taking dogs where the dogs are not allowed. Remember that? No dogs allowed. Meghan Markle takes them. Because Meghan never listens to anybody. She doesn't listen to the rules. Why would she? So, I mean, it's going to be something. I am very interested here, and I want you to tell me if shared character flaws is enough to keep Harry and Meghan marriage afloat, or do you think it's shared values that keep a marriage going? And what do you think is going to happen now? Do you think that Meghan is going to use those children? What do you think is going to happen to Harry?